good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I'm Julia Royston at BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the author community, the book business boss, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. So I wanted to come on this morning. Yes, I'm out of town and I haven't left, but I'm leaving later on today, but I wanted to come on today just to motivate you to be able to switch on a dime. Now, some people associate that switch on a dime with lying or maybe deceit or deception in any way, shape, or form. That's not what we're going to be talking about today. So be sure. Thank you so much for everybody who's joining me. Thank you so much for everybody who's going to share, and I appreciate your comments. And good morning, Ms. Baker. Good morning, good morning. So I'm in Chicago, and so special shout outs to Mr. Daryl Harvey of the Black Child Book Festival and Tour that I was a part of on yesterday. So find that and those pictures from the book tour. Um, on yesterday in Chicago. So I'm still here. I'll be leaving out later on today. And then special shout out to Kay Carlton, Kanika Carlton, and Scott Carlton for their fantastic hospitality on Friday evening. That's family for real, but that's also business family for real too as well. So if you have an event, check out Kay Carlton Inc. and find her on Facebook and on Instagram, I believe, and follow her. And if you can do business with her, that's a wonderful thing too as well. So I wanted to talk about Switch on Dime, and God gave it to me this morning about being adaptable and about being able to adjust. And we see that biblical model and example in that one, Jesus could switch on a dime. Of course, he's divine and human, so you're like, well, how can I compare to that? But his model was that whatever audience that he was at, whatever audience he was, wherever situation he was in, he could still be talking about God and the kingdom and righteousness and love and peace and all of that. But it didn't matter who the audience was, the message was still the same, but his method would change. So when he talked to shepherds, he would be talking about sheep who, having 100, sees one missing, leave the 99 and go. Okay. So he was talking to shepherds at that time. Talking to carpenters, those that build a house. A man built a house on the sand, built a house on the rock, and built a house. So built it on clay, and then so therefore he was talking to construction workers or people in the building industry. So he was talking about building, but still building your house on a rock. Jesus Christ is the solid rock. And then, of course, Peter was a fisherman. He was a master fisherman. So therefore, when he was talking to Peter, he's talking about fish. I'm going to make you fishers of men. They're not going to be fishers and fish. I'm going to make you fishers of men. And then, lastly but not least, when he was with the woman at the well, he's sitting on the well talking about water and talking about worship and water and the well. And he related it all to forgiveness of sin, cleansing, all of that. So Jesus could switch on a dime. That's what I'm talking about. But can you switch on a dime? Can you adjust and change your method, even though the message is the same? But can you change your method of doing your business and your ministry and your life and various situations that you find yourself in? Some people cannot. I want to encourage you to adjust so that you can be more global minded, more broader, because he wanted to take you greater places. He wants you to go to different people and minister to different people. But sometimes you're going to have to switch up your methodology. The message is the same, but your methods of presenting that message are different. Prime example. So I was at an event and I was told, thank you so much, Beth. I was told that you're going to be speaking about people wanting to write a book. But when I got there to the event, and I've spoke about it before, but I find it's applicable here. Um, that when I got to the event, there were approximately 50 to 60 people in the room. Well, of the people who I asked, because I usually do a survey of the people in the room, like who's done this, what is, so I can kind of get an idea, just in case I have to switch on a dime. I can know who I'm talking to. So even though I was talking about writing books, the majority of the people, only two people, I will say this if I didn't know the exact number, only two people in the room had not written a book. So I'm going to do a whole 30-minute presentation about writing when only two people haven't written a book. So I'm like, okay, for those of you who have written a book, how's the sales coming? And I switched everything. I was able to use the majority of my presentation because for some reason, when I was praying about the presentation, I couldn't get the clear thing about why you need to write, whatever. I couldn't get that. So God had given me something else. Fortunately, I was being led and I didn't have this PowerPoint presentation about why you should write a book and how to write a book and all that. I didn't have that up there because I could easily switch on a dime. And so I easily just switched the whole presentation. I got clients from that event, but I had to know who was in the audience. So one of the first things you have to do, know and be where you are. Know and where you are. You got to look around you. You have to be observant. I mean, this is not only for delivering a message, but it's also for safety and protection. You've got to know and then be in the moment of where you are. You can have something in your mind that you want to present, and then you can have that and be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. But you got to be able to switch. You got to be able to be adaptable. We didn't learn anything in 2020. We learned that. People who said my husband's company said, "Oh, never will we be working from home and remote." The majority of them are working from home. The majority of it is automated and the monitoring is done from home. So know and be where you are. So you got to know where you are and be where you are. You got to be in the moment. You can't be so rooted in the way you do things that you can't switch, that you can't be adaptable and adjustable. Just like we learned how to all adjust and adapt and create and stop doing, like one company, whatever they were making, they switched and realized, oh my God, we're going to need sanitizer. They switched on a dime, switched their whole operations to start creating sanitizer. They still had the equipment in place. They still were a manufacturing organization, but they just switched what they were making. So being able to switch on a dime and being able to make adjustments in your life and what you do are key to survival. And then, of course, be where you are. You got to look around, see where you are. And then the next thing is who is here. Not who you want to be here, not who you thought was going to be here, and all that, but who is here. Who am I looking at? So, prime example, on yesterday, I'm in Chicago. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you too. So, I'm here in Chicago. Okay. I have clients all over the country as well as overseas. So, therefore, I don't have a large, abundant clients. I have a few. As a matter of fact, I'm meeting with a client later on today. But this is not my audience. I'm not from here. This is not my local foundational base. Now, when the tour moves May 15th to Louisville, that's my house. I was born there. Okay. So therefore, I can just have my mama come get in the car and come on around. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. So yesterday I had to say, okay, they don't know you. There were people who were coming in and out of this tour, and they had specific authors they were coming to look for. They had specific books that they came to buy. So I was in a prime location. So thank you, Mr. Harvey. I was in a prime location. Right next to him, as a matter of fact, the organizer, which was the favor of God and the favor of this man. But people had to go by me. So I had to figure out how was I going to attract people to me who did not know me. So I had to figure there are people here. There are people who came to buy books because you wouldn't, where we were, you came for this event. You wouldn't necessarily you might walk by, but very unlikely that you would just be kind of walking by and seeing it. You were coming for books. You knew it was a book fair and you came to buy books for children specifically. So I had to make adjustments. I started off with all my books being $10, which that was already a discount. But I'm like, if I'm going to get these books in the new people's hands who don't know me, I've got to make even more adjustments. So now I've got the new BK Royston Publishing Bear. I've got new books that they've never seen, but I had to make it enticing. I had to and make it even more attractive. So that's next. So what is attractive to them and not necessarily to you? So I was gonna cut into my profit margin, but I didn't care because for me, now other people are like, I'm not going down on my price. I'm not doing nothing. Me, I want you to be introduced to new authors, new books, new characters. So I'm willing to do it. So what would be attractive to somebody who does not know me and they are not my client, they don't have a relationship with me, lower the price. Just like you give away, you go to Sam's and they give you samples so you can taste it. Same thing. I said, when the first group, the first 15 minutes, I said, everything on my table is $10. By the time I realized where I was, who was here, and what I was doing, I said, one for 10, two for 15. And then every kid gets a bear. I wasn't charging for them bears. I wanted the bears to go and the kids to fall in love with the bears. And then I put information in the bag for them to buy more books because I wanted you to fall in love with me. I want you to fall in love with the books and be introduced and then fall in love with it more. So then my books start moving. Oh, okay. I don't know you, but $7 and something. Oh, yeah, I'm good. So that was not necessarily as attractive to me. Sure, I would have loved to charge my regular $15 retail fee, but I knew that was going to work because I'm in an environment that's not familiar with me. And what would be attractive to them is to get a deal, one for 10 and two for 15. So therefore, what's attractive? That was attractive. And then I had to adapt. So I had to adjust. I had to adapt. Are you willing to adjust? Are you willing to adapt in your life? Now, compromise and adaptation are two different things. Compromising your morals, nope, I'm not. It didn't require me to do that. Compromising my ethics, it didn't require me to do that because I'm the publisher. Those were my personal books. I could charge what I want to. I could have gave them all away if I wanted to. So that was my prerogative. It wasn't contingent on somebody else's advice. I didn't need anybody else's approval. I didn't have to call a board member. I didn't have to call a supervisor. I'm the boss here. So I run it like I want to. So therefore, are you able? It wasn't a compromise. It was an adaptation for me. I was adjusting and adapting to the environment where I'm in. So you have to determine that. Is it something illegal? Is it something unethical? Is it something immoral? Okay, that's out the wazoo. But I'm talking about moving books here. I'm talking about being adaptable to the place and the environment I'm in. So switch gears to your life. What do you have to adapt? What do you have to adjust? It has nothing to do with your ethics, has nothing to do with your morals. It doesn't go against God. It doesn't mean you're sinning. None of that. Some people are not even willing to adjust, adapt to my husband eats Hellman's and I like Miracle Whip. Oh no, it's Hellman's or nothing. You've got to make sure that you're not stalling and you're not snaring and you're not hindering achievement in your own life just because you won't adapt or you won't be open to something new. It has nothing to do with it's illegal or you're going to go to jail for it or it's immoral. It goes against the Bible. Jesus didn't have a specific way that it had to be done for him to get his message of the kingdom over. It didn't matter whether he was talking about sheep, you married the lady with the gold coins, the woman at the well, the Pharisees in the house, fish, uh, whatever it was. He could adjust and he could adapt. The message was the same. The message of the love, the cross, the redemption, reconciliation unto God. It was across the board. But sometimes you have to adapt. You have to adjust. You have to be willing to say, okay, wait a minute. Where am I? Who is here? And what will be attractive to them? What will pique their interest? And so I had books for girls. I had books for boys. I had books for that talked about being gifted. I had My Life Matters. I had, Terrence, that talked about bullying, ideas, issues, problems, situations that would be attractive to help parents and kids would be attracted to. Not to mention the cute little bear. They loved that too. That was it. So, what do you need to adjust? What do you need to adapt? What do you need to figure out and look around and say, who's here? What survey do you need to take to realize, okay, wait a minute. I'm in a new place. Because we talked a few weeks ago about being new places, new place, people, new situations, all that. So when you're in those new places, or when you're in those new situations and those, it just totally becomes different. Everything becomes different. All things become new. All things need to be adjusted to become new. So, those kinds of things are totally different when you make those adjustments. And then you're able to achieve your goal. You're able to achieve what you're supposed to have. The ultimate goal was, yes, I sold several books. Yes, I made connections with people who not only, there was a book club there. Somebody said they needed mentoring. I was able to open myself up to who was there and meet the needs of the people that were there because it makes all the difference in the world. I trust that that helps you. I trust that that blesses you and continues on your journey as you continue life's journey and making these adjustments in these new places. I'm super excited that Live Your Best Life is coming up at 10 a.m. My special guest today, which I'm super excited about, is Mr. Patrick Lundy of the Ministers of Music. So tune in to envision-radio.com with Live Your Best Life at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, you can listen even if you're on the road or if you're in movement or you're moving and going somewhere else. So Live Your Best Life is on the Simple Radio app, radio.com, tuner.com, my tuner radio, radio.garden, give me radio, media you, oh my gosh, as well as the website envision-radio.com. So be on the lookout for us and listen in. Just slide right on over there to envision-radio.com. And then, of course, stay tuned at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Cheryl Underwood and Spiritual Nourishment. She's on from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. As well as stay tuned. Just keep your computer locked, your mobile device, your phone locked to envision-radio.com 24/7 where praise meets talk. The shout out, church shout out line, go there 1-855-743-7951 or 1-855-Cheryl1 to shout out your church and your pastor. And so be sure and listen to envision-radio.com. Now, coming up on tomorrow over my left-hand shoulder is National Poetry Month. We're closing out this last Monday of April with a special presentation, National Poetry Month, with the poets, participating poets of BK Royston Publishing and Royal Media and Publishing. So join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coming up, if you're ready to write that book now, register for the upcoming class. It's a 10-week course on May 18th for $29 a week. Register at bkroystonpublishing.com and click on classes and to write that book now. There's more coming up. The Book Business Bosses magazine will be coming out in May as well as May 15th is the next tour stop of the Black Child Book Tour, which will be in Louisville, Kentucky at Roots 101 Museum. That's at 124 North 1st Street. So be on the lookout. Follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm not dancing on TikTok, but I'm providing information on new releases and books. So find me. I think I'm at the 5,000 mark on Facebook, but you can always find the Book Business Boss page to like for information, as well as Julia Royston Enterprises LLC page as well. BK Royston Publishing is there, as well as For the Kingdom Ministries. So You all be blessed and head on over to Live Your Best Life with your host, me, Julia Royston at BK Royston Publishing. You all be blessed and have an excellent rest of the day. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Stacy. You all be blessed and have an awesome week and rest of the month. April's almost over, so live your best life. Have a great day.